Welcome aboard, everybody. Here we are. It is Tuesday night, and you all know what that means. Pirates.
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 We are
Here,
so dead.
here we are on playing 7th Sea 2nd Edition by Chaosium. We are not affiliated with Chaosium. We just really love the game. And this particular actual play is presented by Rook and Rasp, who have many different shows for you to enjoy after you've watched this one, of course. This is Chapter 5, Escape from Puerto del Sur. Del Sur. My Spanish is a little rusty.
Are we chapter 5? Did I put the wrong date?
Yes, we are chapter 5.
Chapter 5, Escape from
Holy
Puerto
nose. Okay,
del
give me a
Sur.
second. I'll fix it. It's fine.
It's just so exciting. We just think we're still in the, we forget how far we've come. That's totally what happened. So here we are, and we had a very exciting time last time, but before we get to that, I'm going to remind you that you will be able to interact with the game and influence what's happening by using Cthulhu's. You can buy hero points, or more importantly, danger points, opportunities, you can buy consequences, you can buy all sorts of things to help, make it exciting. Make them work for their reputation. That would be
Speaking of
As if
danger
we don't
points, you
work
just gave
enough
one.
as it is.
So before we get started, I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves. I'm Danny, and I run this game. I do not control it, for anyone who forgets. And let's go ahead with Ala. Go ahead and introduce yourself and your character.
Hi friends, I'm Ala and I'm playing Ninette of Montaigne, who is 100% innocent.
Of what? I think that's very important.
Everything.
I don't think she's everything.
Everything. You cannot say it was me.
Michael, introduce yourself and your character and your friend behind you, please.
I'm Michael. I play Andreas Ferrars. And I swear I am also innocent, mostly. Yeah, totally. Now, the person behind me? No, not at all.
Roxy, go ahead and introduce yourself and your character.
Hello. I am Rue Thompson, and I am playing Amelia McYanson, a humble sailor just trying to do her work. And then some people got on her ship and started a big fight, and I sunk my ship by accident. And now we're on land. Turns out one of them is a thief. Not the one that the world thinks it is, but here we are stuck, and I put on a lovely metal bracer with these stormy gems down the side of it.
Yes.
And it was humming and singing a tune, and so I'm hoping it'll stop soon.
That's right. And go ahead, John, introduce yourself and Gianni.
Well, hi everyone. I am John. Most of y'all probably know me on here from other shows, and I play the absolutely dapper and a cherub-like Gianni. He is probably the kindest, smartest, and just overall, he's like the gem of the show.
According to him. Right.
Oh, and by the way, we do have our first danger point purchased in chat.
Excellent.
So
We're
I
getting
guess thank
started hot
you,
and
Matt.
heavy. We're getting hot and heavy. I will need that. So I am excited. Okay. So just briefly to sum up. Wait, it's too much. Let me sum up. Last we left our intrepid heroes, they had gotten aboard the pot of gold. They had talked to the captain. They had kind of created an allyship and made it to Puerto del Sur, where so they could figure out what they were going to do about this bracer that had come back into their lives. And when they reached land, they discovered that Ninette was wanted by the Montaigne government for stealing from the church. It was not a good scenario, and they quickly had to figure out what to do. They went to Andreas's cousin to try to give them a moment to breathe and get out of the street. Cousin was at first welcoming and then realized there's a little bit more danger than they could chew, so said, look, I'm going to give you a few minutes to recuperate, and then you can go ahead and get out and decide what you're going to do from there, because I can't be involved in this. So they did so. Charles went to go and check in with the Invisible College, and they got a room, and then they were discussing what to do and had discovered that, in fact, Gianni had the very item that Nanette had been accused of stealing. Somehow, according to Gianni, this was perfectly innocent. Perfectly innocent gesture on his part, but he had it. And they discovered a note inside. When they brought it out to look at it, Gianni discovered that there was a note in there that said, well, we hope Silent Death can bring back the item. And, you know, making sure it's obviously that the church is somehow involved in what's going on somehow. Not quite sure yet how, but they are. Suspicious. And after that, the box that contained the bracer that they had gotten started lighting up and shaking again, and Amelia decided she was going to put it on. So when we join in on our book and we close in, we see our lovely hand-tooled book. We see the 4 items, the sorte deck, the sword, the blunderbuss, and the wedding veil. It says by leaps and bounties on it. It is opened, and it says Chapter 5, Escape from Puerto del Sur. And there is a picture, black and white, of the room at the Blue Pearl, where our heroes have settled in for the time being to strategize. It is Nanette and Andreas and Gianni and Charles are all in the room. We see them kind of drawn in black and white, and they are all looking at Ace, who is standing there in the picture with the bracer. And we zoom in on it, and just below it, we can read. Let me see. Where did I write that? It says underneath. Did I write that down? Anyway, it says underneath, risks that are high risks are the things that make life interesting. Below it. That's what it says. And we zoom in close to the picture, and we start to hear kind of the soft sounds of the inn surrounding the room that our heroes are in. And picture starts to come to life, and we see our heroes start to breathe and move, and we are now in the room, and we begin. So, Ace, you have put this thing on.
Well, is it still humming, singing, vibrating, glowing?
Well, after you put it on, you black out, and everybody else in the room sees Ace fall to the floor. You're out for a second, and then you in your mind, it's like a dream almost. You see Silent Death somewhere standing on a dock. You can't tell. You can't see very much around him. It's very, very hazy. You see him there, and he's holding the bracer. And he seems to be looking right at you. This is now a contest of wills. He is trying to find out where you are, and you, I am assuming, are going to try and stop him. That's an option. You don't have to, but I'm assuming you're going to try to stop him.
I am going to try to stop him. Let me pull up my character sheet while you describe this.
All right. So this is going to be a battle of wills here. So he's trying to find you. You were trying to stop it. And let's see. You're going to need to roll. And let me see.
I'm ready when
I'm
you
gonna
are.
use a danger point. We're gonna raise by difficulty by 5 for this particular scene. So you'll need 15 for raises for this particular scene.
Okay.
And just to make it even more interesting, I'm gonna use another danger point to add 2 dice to Silent Dust Pool. 1, 2, 3. So what we're gonna roll is gonna roll your. You have resolve and wits, probably.
So you want me to do resolve and what? So 2 traits?
Yes, 2 traits. Do 2 traits. This is going to be. That's what I want to do. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ace, you
Ooh, I
just got
did
an
get a
extra-
bonus D10, which
Yep.
I am going to go ahead and use. Or should I save it? Is this going to be a series of rolls?
Nope. 1 roll.
Okay, then yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use it. So I have 3 in wits, 2 in resolve. I get a bonus die for it being the first time I've rolled it, and I get a
Yep.
bonus die from chat.
Yep. And this will be opposed, so we will see who gets more raises. Remember, it is 15. Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, the rest of us are freaking out more than
Yes, she is just
Yes.
gone to the ground and seems unresponsive.
Okay, I have my result.
All right. All right. How many raises did you get?
2.
I got
Okay,
3. So
that's all I got.
you feel kind of an immense amount of pain, and before you come back to, you see him smile at you.
Can I... Okay, so I tried to prevent him from seeing where I was. Can I
Mhm.
see where he is?
No. No. He's basically tried to find you and block you and see where you are. It's basically kind of a contest to see
Sure.
who can
So-
find.
Can I then, if I come to, can I go back, can I try again to try to find out where he is?
You cannot, because you're going to take 2 wounds from doing
Okay.
that. And what you immediately come to,
Ouch.
and she is out for maybe 10 seconds or so, not very long at all. When she finally comes to in the room, everybody else. What you immediately know, Ace, is that this takes a lot, and he won't be able to try to find you again for a while. Because
Okay.
you can tell that using this thing definitely causes pain and takes a lot to do. So probably why it kind of stopped and then started up again. It seems to make sense to you. The other thing you notice is you have this ability just to sense the weather outside. It's a clear night outside, and you know that there is not a storm for within 50 miles of the area where you are at. You have just this innate sense of the weather.
Okay, interesting.
Mademoiselle, are you alright?
I've been better. But it's not humming or anything anymore, right?
Nope, it is not. It has been used
Oh.
up.
That worked. Okay. I think we need to leave as soon as possible. But,
You are
I'm just gonna
bleeding
lay
from
here
the
for a minute.
nose quite a bit. It's just. I'm very concerned for you. Maybe you should lie down.
okay. I lay back down on the ground.
There's the bed.
This is fine. I'm fine right here. I'm fine right here. Just give me a minute. We're gonna need to get out of town, so while I'm laying here, does anybody have an idea on how to do that quickly?
Depends. Do we wish to go by sea or do we wish to go cross land?
Do we need to get the money, Nanette?
Well, the money would be nice, but if we are pressed for time, maybe we should just go.
I mean, we still have. Just let me breathe a minute. I know we had plans for the night. This kind of changed things. I mean, I was gonna do this anyway. If we met with the Invisible College and they tried some sketchy shit, I was gonna put the bracer on one way or another. I just, old silent but deadly just forced my hand. So,
Can you take it off now in case, it happens again?
You're gonna
Can
try
I
to
take it off?
You
Can I take it off?
absolutely cannot take it off.
That's what I was worried about that. I mean, we could
Well,
cut
that
my
might be a
arm off,
problem.
but this is really my good shooting hand, so I should have put it on my bad hand.
Charles says, hey, Charles, who has been standing there watching this whole thing worriedly, he says, it's fascinating. I mean, I have read about Sirnith artifacts that have if they are paired or there's more than one or they are set, have inherent ways to find each other. This is fascinating. It must be some sort of defense mechanism for the artifacts to make sure they were not separated. Fascinating.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm cottoning on to an item wanting to not be separated from another item, but the wearer thereof definitely was able to kind of see, I believe, where I am once I put it on. The thing is, I wonder if he could see where we were when it wasn't on me. If it requires two people to be wearing them, then I don't know. It seems more like it's favoring the user, not the actual item.
Well, I mean, it was obviously intended for use. I mean, it's being worn and everything. It really is very
If he wasn't trying to kill us, this would be kind of romantic.
I mean, he's quite handsome if you're into fellas, yeah. But as I'm not, I'd rather just let's run away. You should know something about that, right, Nanette?
Well, usually yes, but I don't know what to do in this situation.
I didn't mean it as an insult. I'm just, do we want to go ahead and stick around and meet with the Invisible College, or do we want to go ahead and try to get out now?
I think that's still our best option, as of now.
I give Charles. Go ahead.
I think also, since we don't have much in the form of money, I was tapped out and my bag went down with the ship.
We also have no provisions.
Yeah.
It is afternoon, by the way.
The question still stands, do we wish to go over land or do we wish to go by sea? Are we trying to still get to Labuka?
As far as I know, yes.
So, who has the map? Is this the closest port to that?
It is
Oh,
one,
I
I
have
mean-
the map. Of course, I have the map. What am I thinking? I pull out the map.
Puerto del Sur is definitely on there. So you can definitely navigate from where you are to where Labuka is. Having discovered the map. This is obviously what Silent Death was going to use himself to get there.
So, that means we can find this ship and depart as passengers or as crew, or well, I look at the map. Are there any other ports further along?
Yeah, there's one over in Vodachi.
Yes, this is the best port.
I mean, there's one in Montaigne, there's some in Castile, but then there also are some over in Vodachi. It kind of goes that area.
Oh, we're in. Oh, wow. Sorry, my brain just.
Yeah, we're in Castile.
Yeah.
From my place, prone on the ground, where I am resting comfortably, with my hat resting crookedly on my head. I look up at Gianni and I'm like, you skipped over Vadachi real quick there. You running from something too, I take it.
I do not wish to go there. And no, I am actually not even known in Vadachi. I just do not wish to go there.
Yeah, okay. And I just kind of look at Charles as Charles just slavering over the bracer on my arm.
He was. I mean, he was talking about, he had found it fascinating. But after your conversation, when you look over at him, he looks very, very upset.
Like upset crying in his milk or upset angry?
Like crying in his mouth. Upset.
I look at him and I'm like, I ignore his sadness. I'm not going to call attention to it. No, I'm not going to call attention to it because I don't want him to be embarrassed. And I'm just going to be like, when we go and meet your contacts with the college, do you think they can get us out of town quickly?
I'm sorry. I was just a scholar. I would, what I did for the Invisible College? I would research things that they told me, and then I would just pass along the information, and it was exciting, and I mean, I love history, and then they said that I was the only one that they wouldn't recognize for this mission, and
They?
the Invisible College. And then
Wait.
and now I just want to go home.
Wait. You do or do not have contacts with the Invisible College?
I do. I was working for them. I was just doing research, and like I would write down what I found out, what they would ask me to, and then I'd send it over to them, and then they wanted me to do this, and I thought, well, I haven't been out of Montaigne for a long time, and I thought, it was easy. I just have to go to this island, and then
Ninette pats him on the shoulder.
and now I just want my library and my books, but they're at the bottom of the ocean.
You can buy more books. It's all right. You can. Everything will be fine.
I don't
Probably.
have any money.
You have a hero point, Nanette, or you have an extra D10 on the
Boy.
table for you.
Okay.
I pretend like I'm dead under my hat once he sets to crying earnestly. I just pretend like I'm passed out again.
You are good at lying. Take this to the bank. And she pulls the little strip of paper that she had previously written for Ace and gives it to Gianni.
Oh no.
Withdraw this account. And buy us whatever supplies we need for this evening.
Absolutely.
I
You can
I
ask
think
me.
this is something you can do.
Yes, absolutely. You
And
can
if you
certainly
run away,
trust me.
I will find you.
I actually kind of like it here. Other than the crying. Nothing personal, sir.
Monsieur Andreas, if it is not too much trouble, may you accompany him?
Of course. Yeah, best to try to at least stick together a bit.
Well,
Are you going to meet with the Invisible College?
no,
Not
we can
yet.
go and
Tonight.
get some money.
You said
And
midnight.
supplies. We need to travel with something.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they'd do anything if I didn't bring it to them, but it really would be the safest place.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe they'll know how to get it off.
Maybe I can find one of those wagons. Of course, we probably
The
won't
one
Will
be-
you
like-
buy me a
oh.
wig?
Yeah, oh, you was your wig. You really?
I
thought
miss
did
my
very good with
wigs.
your hair. It
I
was
had so
wonderful.
many, and now it's just
Well, wouldn't that make you more obvious to who you are?
But not one of the big ones. One of these things. Something.
Oh, something more like stage. I can definitely help you with that.
I need a new shirt. I haven't. Yes.
It is covered in blood. I understand. It's
We
always
Leave it
better.
on like clothes, thank you.
What?
You also need clothes.
Okay, time to go shopping.
Yes. Let's
Okay.
let's grab some supplies.
Okay, so Andreas and Gianni are gonna go out and withdraw money from the bank and get supplies. That's the plan.
Yes.
All right. As for Nanette and Ace, what are we? You have a very upset Charles, and now he's going. I'm sorry, it just hit me all at once. I saw the bracer, and then it was on, and then I thought, well, what are they gonna do? And I've never done anything like this before. You know, I
Also
just
buy
I
a
really-
very
I was
large
so-
bottle
I
of
was-
very strong liquor. It's for Charles.
Got it.
It's alright. We will dull the pain.
Liquid courage.
Once I hear the boys both leave,
Yeah,
or
they leave.
just Andreas?
No,
boys
Andreas
both
and
leave.
Gianni both leave. So now it's you, Nanette, and Charles.
And Nanette is still comforting Charles. So I take it.
Yes. Patting him on
but
the shoulder.
Can I roll stealth to sneak out of the room where Charles doesn't see? I just don't. I just want to be as far away from the crying grown
Sure.
man as I possibly can get.
So go ahead and we'll say rule. Let's see. It'll be finesse and stealth then. You just need a raise. The consequence, of course. So you'll need one raise to actually do it and get out of the room. Another raise will be that he does not notice you. So you need at least 2 raises.
Okay, so hide probably. Okay. let's
Right.
see.
Yeah. So the consequence, if you don't, will be he notices you leaving.
I mean, okay, yeah. I'm just gonna roll it. I'm not gonna use my bonus D10 yet because I did get another one. Thank you, chat. All right. I got 2 raises with 1 left over, with 1 die left over.
Okay. Excellent. I will buy that from you. Actually, take a hero point,
Yeah.
and I will take a danger point.
No.
Thank you. Okay. So, all right. So you, Nanette, go ahead and roll wits and notice, please, to see if you notice. And you will need 2 raises. Or actually, you rolled 3 total, right? Even though I bought it from, did you roll 3 total, right?
I rolled 2.
You rolled 2 raises. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nanette, you will need 2 raises for that to.
I got
see her
3 and
leave.
1 left over. In case
Okay, so you notice she's leaving the room.
Nanette mouths, I will remember this.
You don't even know where I'm going. Just keep him distracted.
Just.
Like Baloo. It's alright, Charles. It's going to be okay. This is not the worst thing that could ever possibly happen in your life. Actually, why don't we just both cry?
Oh, God. Okay, Ace hears that start and she's like, got the fuck out of there in just enough time. I am going to go downstairs because I'm not wanted by anyone except for Silent but Deadly. So I'm going to go with my new bracered arm, and I am going to put a coat over it. I mentioned last game that I was taking my long coat out of the chest. I did that, and I actually don it to cover up the bracer. Just because I don't want, in case somebody else knows what the hell it is. Oh no! GM Danny, no! Can you
Pause
still
the
hear us?
camera briefly.
Yep.
I
There
am
we
here. Sorry.
Okay, I was just
It
making
froze
sure you
on
didn't
me.
Tonight's episode was brought
It
to you
froze.
by...
Sorry, it totally froze on me. I guess it didn't
That's-
like that. Yeah. The chat has the Discord has feels about I guess sneaking
It's
out.
been
No,
kind
it's
of
okay.
up and down.
Men who are
today,
having
so.
feels, I guess. So I apologize for that.
No, that's
so
okay.
the last I heard, Nanette was saying, "I will remember this," and
Oh, wow,
Amelia
okay.
was going, you don't even know what I'm doing." So,
Okay, so yeah, they started full on crying together,
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
just as I left the room, and I was like, "Thank fuck I'm out of there." And so I go on, and since nobody's like looking for me, I'm not too worried about being seen around town.
Okay.
The thing that I do is I'd mentioned last game that I had gotten into my chest and I pulled out my jacket, my long coat.
Yes.
And so I put that on to cover the bracer because it's got long sleeves.
Mhm.
And I don't want to, just in case somebody else recognizes it, Ace does not want to be drawing a lot of attention to it. But all I'm going to do is go downstairs.
It
talk
is a
to
pretty
the-
noticeable item. So
Yeah,
you know,
so that's why I wanted to cover it up with a sleeve. So I want to go downstairs and talk to either the person at the bar downstairs, or because this is a tavern, right? This is the Blue Pearl.
Yep, in
correct?
tavern.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to him and ask if he's got anything, or if there's a doctor nearby that I might be able to get something to. I've got somebody that's just super amped up and a little on edge, and I would like to just kind of knock him out for a couple hours. Let him get some sleep.
Doc Diaz is around the corner. A few doors down.
Fantastic. I will head over there, and I've got a pouch of money with me because I'm the only one who brought all my crap. So
Yeah.
I have my pouch of money, and I head over to Doc Diaz's.
Okay, so we have Ace going to Doc Diaz. We have Nanette crying with Charles in the room. And let us now go to Chihani and Andreas, who have left the inn. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it?
I mean, I fully intend to head to the bank.
Okay.
Unless Gianni all of a sudden has different plans.
No, you're going to the bank.
But do you know where the bank is?
No, but
we can ask.
Okay. You asked, do you have any particular strategy for who you ask, or just somebody going by?
I'll actually look for an individual, perhaps a noble, in in fair Castilian garb,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll ask them, and I'll actually say it in a fairly impressive Castilian accent and voice, and I'll be sir, and I'll ask. We are looking for this bank. Could you tell us where to find it?
The bank. And he looks, not like a way, way high up noble, but dressed very nice and seems to would have some money. So
I'm pretending I'm a noble too.
all right, excellent. So do ahead and do a finesse and perform.
All right, always fun.
You will need a raise to, put on your act. You will need another raise for the consequence, which would be that he kind of sees through your act.
I have 4 raises total and nothing left over.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So it was, yes, my lord. The bank is just right down across the couple streets over there.
Thank you very kindly. And I say all this with a flawless Castilian accent from the local area, even.
Mm-hmm. Andreas, of course, I assume you're
I'm just
watching all this and following.
I am just watching and following.
But
You
that was
could have
much
put it
easier
on,
than I thought.
and now you're going to have to chop off Ace's arm to get it off.
Not doing that. I'm really not doing that.
I didn't ask you to, sir.
Not you.
Oh, you're talking to your friend again.
I'm telling you, you could have had it. Could have been ours. And now pain is going to have to come of it. It's a shame. He's like standing, like next to you on the street, looking around.
I very pointedly do not look at my Davis, and instead just move on and go. Hopefully nothing bad happens.
Well, the weather is always nice around this time of year, so, nothing to worry about. You can automatically assume that I will always answer you, sir, because I do not wish everybody else to think you are mad.
No, that's fair. That's very fair. That's very fair. And I appreciate it. It's still just, yeah.
Hey, I understand. Fate is very fickle. I'm certain your friend is very fickle as well.
So fickle. So fickle. My friend is very fickle. Always wanting things that he shouldn't have or get.
But have you
Me?
ever thought he likes
I'm
to...
very simple. I want only the very simple. I'm a simple Davis.
Have you ever thought that perhaps he just likes to, what's a good way to put it? He likes to, make you upset. Or, let's say, so many
It's a
different
game we
ways to
play.
say it. He likes to screw you. Have you ever thought that?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. He very much enjoys messing with me as much as I enjoy getting what little stabs I can get back in him. Like,
How many times do I have to tell you I'm trying to help you, Andreas? How many times what will it take for you to believe me?
like if I keep this up for many more years, I might be able to take over the entire Montaigne court.
Yes, now we're talking. Now we are getting somewhere. You see, you're starting to get vision. You see what we could accomplish.
Or at least give the Vidachi princes a run for their money.
If he ever gives you too much trouble, you could always ask me to do a reading for him. I'm certain that oftentimes great beings don't like to know their own future.
I might find that interesting if you wish to attempt that. I think more information than they want shared would be might be obtained.
It is not something that, in every story I've ever read of great and powerful creatures, knowing what is up ahead makes them feel less powerful.
Yes.
Divination. What's he talking about? That's not power. That's a parlor trick. That's nothing.
You
So,
know,
do you
though,
think they have a hat shop anywhere around here?
maybe. I thought I saw one when I was passing through. I had to go through town for
Those
some
were
things.
not very good, sir. I can assure you of that. You need better hats than that one.
Very true. Yeah. Hmm.
So, are you okay? So you're gonna head to the bank, or are you gonna find a hat shop, or where are we headed, gentlemen?
The bank first, yeah.
Definitely
Okay.
the bank.
You did get a danger point back, Danny.
Oh, excellent!
And Andreas, you have
All
a
right.
hero point.
Got
All
it.
right.
Alright.
All right. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely a typical looking bank, marble facade. The sign in Castilian, you see people going in and out. It is open for business.
Well, shall we?
Yes, absolutely. Do you wish to be the one? I mean, she did ask you technically to be the one to ask for the funds. Yes.
No, technically she asked you.
Oh, well, very well then. So, I'll go in and let's do a withdraw.
Okay. You go in and there are desks, and well, more like podiums. They're kind of like podiums where various people who work at the banks are standing, and people are in line to conduct their business. It's in the middle of the day, so there is business, but it's not a prime time of day for people to be banking, so it doesn't take you very long to step up to one of the podiums, and there is this young woman standing there, very Castilian features, and her desk plate says Sofia Castellucci.
And he,
Gentlemen, may I help you? Welcome to the Bank of Puerto del Sur. How can I help you today?
Greetings. I am Gianni, and I have a account here that I need with money withdrawn from. And he will present the number.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
All right.
I know it was last game. I don't remember how much was said to get, but did you give me a total?
All right.
Because otherwise
Nanette,
I'm going to get like 100 guilders or something.
Nanette has this money from stuff that she has done with the family, right? She's kind of moved money and kept assets. Basically, she's been skimming her family.
No. I've just been setting aside my share and then using it successfully.
Taking fees for services rendered.
I've been the family accountant since I was 14. Thank you.
Excellent. And where did she put this money?
Usually in various business accounts throughout the coastal region because she was looking to expand her business there.
Okay. Throughout the coastal region of Montaigne?
She was expanding internationally.
Oh, okay.
So there should be some assets. It's probably not a huge amount. It was probably enough to open a storefront and procure resources.
Okay. So she takes the number and looks at it. Which is interesting. I will just be a moment. And she heads off into the back and comes back a few moments later and she says, yes, this is a business account for a merchant account that has not been used in some time.
Indeed.
A month or two at the very least.
Yes.
Though, what did you say your name was?
My name is Gianni Messina. I'm here on behalf of the account holder to procure supplies for our business.
I see. Well, in order to get this, we will actually have to get you to sign a form so that we can actually have the money, because these are deposited into accounts and are kept track of, but to withdraw it, we have to document that and take count of the withdrawal. However, if this does need to be signed by the account holder.
Oh. Well, that might be a bit of a problem. But I'm certain we can make arrangements. But truly, I think they won't be very upset to hear that this is an issue within their bank.
Okay.
After all, they are very busy and have many things to do.
Okay. So are you going to try to convince her to just, let you sign the paperwork or give you the money? You're going to try to do this? Okay. All right. So finesse and convince. Well, perform. You're kind of performing. You're putting on a performance. We'll give you that. So you're get one for doing it. Like you're doing your performance. So that's one raise. Another raise, a consequence is going to be that she doesn't do. She kind of notices, feels something hinky. She's not going to want to do it. That's 2 raises. You'll need another raise because there's another consequence that there are security guards here. So they may get involved. So you will need a total of 3 raises to go ahead and do this.
So be it.
I will burn a hero point to give Gianni 3 extra dice.
And you just did get a bonus D10, Gianni, from chat.
Hey, I will take it and use it. Oh my gosh, this is a pretty roll. Pretty.
No.
So I have so far... golly. So that is... I rolled 3 10s out of my dice pool to start with.
Wow.
So with everything, I'm looking at another 3 raises on top of that. So I've got 6 raises. That was a nice roll. That was fun. Thank you. Thank you, chat. And thank you so much for those extra dice, Andreas.
So we'll give you an advantage here. She thinks you're kind of cute.
Who doesn't?
So you kind of get the, you're charming her and telling her how you work for this important business person who doesn't have time to come down here, and turning on your charm, and you kind of notice a little flush on her cheeks, and
I
she
lean
says,
forward
well,
and get a little closer and kind of rest my elbows on the table as I look meaningfully at her.
she says, well, I suppose, there are business people do have things to attend to. I'm sure it will be fine.
Thank you so much.
Let me just go take care of this for you.
We appreciate it.
Excellent. So she goes off, and we will come back to y'all. We're gonna go to Nanette in the room, crying with Charles. He eventually, comes down and says, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me."
It has been a very rough week. It is all right.
Thank you for staying. Where's Ace?
In the ladies' room.
Oh. No, I must have been. I didn't even notice.
It's all right. You had other things on your mind. Sometimes, I'm sure she will be back.
Do you want to do anything particular, Nanette, while you're here with Charles?
Finish chopping off her hair.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Yeah. So you're gonna go finish. Charles goes, "Oh, are you sure you want to? I mean, you have such nice curls."
Oh, they will grow back, I suppose. But I don't want to get everyone arrested for this, so...
Oh.
It'd make for an interesting story, don't you think, though?
Where did you... I mean, you're Montaigne, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up? I heard Gianni mention something about running away. Did you...
I might have fled from my responsibilities.
Oh.
But who wouldn't? So... Honestly, it's not a big concern. Do not worry.
Well, I think that was very brave. To do what you wanted to do. I mean, I thought, I was being brave doing what I was doing, but now I'm regretting it. I mean, do you regret now that you're having to cut off your hair and...
Well, that's, maybe being put to death if I get caught might be the biggest concern I have right now. But we're going on an adventure, one way or another, and hopefully we'll survive it. Sure beats the same four walls of an office, doing the same thing every day. Aren't you tired of listening to what everybody else tells you to do? What do you want to do, Charles?
I mean, I thought I wanted... I mean, it's silly. It's silly.
Oh, come now, it can't be more silly than running away from your wedding.
You ran away from a wedding?
Responsibilities,
Well, I always thought, once I've researched and enough and I was able to raise enough money as a scholar, I thought that I would open my own bookstore someday.
Oh, that is delightful.
I mean, it's my father always said that there was no money in such things, but it's not about the money. I just wanted enough, to have a bookstore and to read my books and help other people. I wanted to have books from all over, go to Badachi and go to Steele and Avalon and Montaigne and everyone could come and learn.
Well, that may not be the best business practice, but I love where your spirit's at. Perhaps we can work on a business plan when you are ready. I guarantee you will turn a profit.
Oh, thank you. All right, and we'll leave you all talking with Charles about his bookstore. We will go to Ace, who is looking for Dr. Diaz. You find a sign that has Universal Medical symbol on it, right where the bartender innkeeper said it was going to be.
Is there an open sign on the door, or is it the door open, or do I need to knock?
The door is open, and there is a sign there. It's in the in the afternoon. They are still taking customers, patients.
Hello. Hello. I need to talk to a doctor or someone that could perhaps sell me some sedatives.
There is a woman with a young child sitting in the room, and there is a young man sitting behind the counter, and he looks up when you come in and he says, I'm sorry? What was that again?
Okay, so I've got a guy. We just you're not going to believe this, but we were shipwrecked just like 2 days ago. And we happened to, thankfully, were swept up, got picked up by another merchant ship, and we came into port yesterday, or today. Is it earlier today? It was earlier today. And I've got this guy, and he's just, the shipwreck just really tore him up, He's not hurt. He's just on edge, and his anxiety is through the roof, and he's not able to sleep much, and it's just kind of making him go a little wacky. So I was hoping that maybe I could find some, I don't know, something to just help him sleep for a few hours to, let the poor boy refresh, as it were.
I see. Let me go ask the doctor. And he disappears in the back for a moment, comes back out, and he says, the doctor would like to speak with you.
Oh, of course.
And he turns to the woman and her child and says, the doctor is getting your medicines prepared right now. It'll just be a few moments. And the woman nods, and she's holding her child, and he leads you to the back. And there is a doctor there. He looks to be mid-40s or so. Dark hair, dark eyes, darkish skin. He says, so you're the one that was shipwrecked.
I mean, there was more than just the one of us, yeah.
And your friend is having some sleeping, anxiety, nerve issues.
Well, I'll be honest with you. He's not a sailor at all. He had just bought passage on the ship to get to another destination. I'm not even sure where. I was just up in the crow's nest. But we were shipwrecked. He had brought a bunch of books on board, and they all went to the bottom of the blue. And he's pretty broken up about it, and he's just been crying all morning, and I would really like him to get some sleep so I can get some sleep.
I see. And since you have not brought him here, I assume he's in no condition to travel, so I could examine him?
I mean, I could bring him to you. It was literally just he was caught up in crying, and I just thought it was best to leave him in the room.
I see. Well, how about this? I will give you something very gentle. That's not too harsh and won't do anyone any harm regardless.
I mean, don't worry. I'm not looking for narcotics. I just want something that'll put him out. I don't know if he drinks or not. He hasn't yet. I'm just looking for something that'll just put the baby to sleep. Do you do melatonin or something? I'm just looking for something to calm him down.
I see. Well, I do have a tea here that might do the trick.
Nice. What might be in it?
Oh, some extracts of certain plants that are known to help calm the mind and get sleep. Some St. John's wort, some lavender. Many of my patients find a tea calming as well. That's why it's in that form.
And out of character or above the table, he's Avalonian, right? Charles Exeter.
Charles is Avalonian, yes.
He's from the Isles, so I'm sure He'll just love tea. So, yeah, let's, I don't know when the last time he had any was. So, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Simple
right.
brew instructions, nothing fancy. Could I
Alright.
pop a little bourbon in there? Would that chill him out even a little more? Is that okay? Or will it counteract or something?
That should be fine, but not too much.
Okay. No, that's fine. No, I wouldn't waste good bourbon on him too much. So, okay, no, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so he hands a bottle to the assistant who takes it outside, and then he takes a little white bag and puts some tea in there for you, and it's a couple tea packets in there for you, and hands them to you.
Well, what do I owe you?
It's simple tea. Nothing really. Just take it, and I hope your friend feels better.
Take it and don't come back. I've heard that unsaid one time or two. So yeah, I take it and go.
Okay. Are you going back to the room or somewhere else?
I'm gonna stop by the tavern and I am gonna see how much a bottle of bourbon is.
Oh,
Or
okay.
whiskey.
Okay,
What do they
yeah.
sell in Castile? Is it too much of like a stereotype to ask what kind of liquor they sell?
No, they have, various kinds. I mean, it is a port city, so they try to keep various stuff on board for the people who might come into town. So, for sure, he can sell you bourbon or whiskey if you like. Which would you prefer?
I would love a bottle of bourbon, and if I might, can I have a? Do you have a small vial of honey or something? Maybe a lemon? Do you have a lemon back there?
Sure. He gets all that for you, and he gives you like a reasonable price for it. It's nothing, extensive in exchange for it.
Nice.
So-
All right. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll bring back everything. I won't leave trash around, and I'm not going to steal your vial of honey. And I go upstairs and I make Charles a hot toddy.
Okay. Ace comes back while you see that Nanette has cut her hair.
Anyway, and if you are going to open a business in Montaigne, there's forms section 3, 5, and 7, and you could probably apply for government grants if it's going to be more of a library,
When I come in, hearing this, can I just do a finesse and hide again to like stealth in the room so she doesn't start talking to me about all this crap?
Sure.
Okay. Ace
Go
is like,
ahead.
oh, business. I hate business.
And what's a notice for you, Nanette?
Using my bonus D10 for this.
And we'll see who gets the more raises.
What did you get first?
I got 3.
She got 3.
Oh, god dang it. I don't think I got that. I got a 10. Let's see. Let me see if I can finagle it. Oh, no, I did. I got 3.
All right. Okay.
So,
all
we
right.
just... We both notice each other.
Yeah. You kind of,
She knows I'm trying to hide.
Yeah, and you...
I know she sees me.
Yeah. So...
Oh, you're back from your trip.
I am.
Is everything all right?
Everything is wonderful. Charles, do you like tea? Sure you do. And I start to I put a kettle on.
Okay.
I assume we have facilities to put a kettle on.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
And I make him a hot toddy.
He will take it gratefully and drink it and kind of sigh. A little bit. Says, I think
bought
my
this
mother
special
made
down-
something similar
Oh,
when I was a
nice.
child.
I bought it down from the apothecary. I was wondering how it'd taste. They said there was warts in it.
Warts.
Yeah. Yeah, St. John. His warts are in it.
Oh, Saint John's wort. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
I mean,
plant.
does that make it better?
It's
I can't say I've ever had the pleasure.
it's a plant. It's quite calming.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'll
Could you
take your
just
word
pass
for
the
it.
whiskey bottle?
Oh, of course, yeah. I pulled myself a small, like 2 fingers worth in a tumbler, and I passed the bottle over.
Okay. So we will leave Charles with his hot toddy, and we will leave you two drinking in the room. And we will go back. So the young lady, Sophia, comes back and she says, how would you like your withdrawal, sir?
Labba dabba da.
1s and 5s.
The standard gilder will be fine.
Very well. She goes into the back and she brings you back it's like a box. Like about maybe this big. With the symbol of Puerto del Ser on top of it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Great. Let me just, and she opens it up and there are guilders in there. And she counts out 125,000 guilders.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Is that all I can do for you today?
Well, that'll be plenty. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
She hands the
Perhaps-
box over to you. Oh, go ahead.
And he's gonna be like, it's Gianni, and it's like he doesn't know how to act in this situation. He's just like, perhaps you. What time are you off this evening?
She says, you should look inside your box, sir.
Very well, thank you.
And she hands it
That's
over
rude.
to you, and there's like a piece of paper in there that has the name of like a local bar that's like, not too far from where you are. You passed it along the way, and it has a time on it.
And he will do a proper bow and go out the door with the money.
When we get out of the door and out of earshot of her, you're gonna stand her up, aren't you?
Maybe if we're in town, who knows?
Okay, so where are you two headed now?
I think it's gonna be as basically as quick as a trip as we can make it. Getting new clothes for those of us that need it, which I believe is Gianni, myself, and Nanette, and probably grab something for Charles as well.
Alrighty.
The wig.
Yeah, I'll find a theater shop of some sort and grab a few things there.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy at all?
Yeah, with that much money and everything, yeah.
Okay. So you're trying not to draw attention to yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
For
Okay.
once.
Imagine getting
Yeah.
all that money and then promptly getting pickpocketed.
Oh, please, God, no.
So do finesse and stealth, both of you.
I will say, chat did buy us an opportunity, so we do have a free. You don't have to spend a hero point for an opportunity. So if you guys want to use that to save your asses right now.
So
That's about
you-
right, because hide is not one of my skills.
So for 4 reasons, you will need 1 raise to go ahead and not be recognized, or to be stealthy and accomplish your mission. You will need 2 not to be recognized to draw attention to yourself, and you will need 3 to procure all the items that you are looking to get.
Is that between both of us?
That's for each of you.
Oh,
Since you're each participating in this. So you will need a total of 6. If one of you makes more than 3, that's fine. So let's do 6 all together, since this is a
I mean, John
concerted
just rolled
effort.
4 10s, so.
Oh,
I'm going to be
jeez.
posting that in the Discord. I just rolled a roll I have never ever done before. I just rolled 4 10s.
I made 2 raises with 1 extra die.
Sweet.
If you would like to purchase it.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go do so. You get a hero point.
Yep, and you get a danger point.
Yep.
So we do have 6 between us.
Excellent. Excellent. So you managed to not draw attention to yourself, get the things that you needed, not be recognized or seen in any kind of noticeable way, and make your way back to the inn after that. The blue pearl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So
I do go for a couple of changes for each of us. That way, we don't have to always be wearing like 1 of 2 sets of clothes.
Okay. So you've spent between all the supplies and the clothes and things like that, I'm going to say you've spent probably about 2,000 of those guilder.
Oh no! Holy crap! I'm out left.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. She
How
has
much did you guys get?
We got 125,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
not. Okay, that's not as bad. I was like, if we only got like 4,000 and you guys just spent half of it on fucking clothes and wigs.
And supplies.
Yeah.
It's
What
important.
happened is Nanette has 3 wealth, which I kind of just determined was about 25,000, and then I did a couple rolls to determine how much more she would have after that. So it ended up being 125,000.
Ooh.
So some
Uh,
good stuff.
Well, when you get back to the room, I think Nanette and I are thoroughly in our cups. And Charles is either also very much in his cups or past the F out.
He is in his cups. He is not a heavy drinker, so the toddy is enough to,
Good.
to make him, so you get back and everyone in there the mood seems to be very light when you get back to the room.
Light, or are y'all happy? Are you happily inebriated, or are you
Yeah.
more the the world's over?
Oh, I ain't crying a bit. I'm having a grand old time. We actually aren't allowed to drink on the ship, so when we're on a run and we're doing merchant shit, we can't drink. So I hadn't drank since before we'd been in Charuz.
Oh, that is terrible. I'm only allowed to drink after 9 p.m.
After we get our own ship, I'm telling you, if you get us a ship, or if I can figure out how to get one, I'm nixing that rule from the charter immediately.
What the?
It's a terrible rule. It's probably why I ran away.
Dear God, there are people that have it for breakfast.
What?
Huh?
You've never had a glass of wine with breakfast?
I mean, yes, we don't drink between noon and 9. Unless it's a party. So it's like every other weekend.
Well, congratulations on your freedom.
Oh god.
The freedom!
I mean, I've drank it a bit before. There was that one time when we were in the duelist guild, and we decided to have a 1 point equals 1 drink contest.
Doing this more.
It got interesting.
Charles
Yeah.
is like one point.
Yes, we were going for points rather than first blood. So a touch. So we had blunted weapons, and a touch was a point. So if you touched, we had to drink.
Oh. Did you win?
I don't remember.
I mean, it sounds like it's a win. It sounds like losing. I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I grab the bottle and take a hit.
Is this normal? And I open up the box for her.
There should be more.
Okay.
I bet he stole it. Check his trousers.
Well, if you must, you must. But please.
Charles is let's see. Hang on. Yeah, Charles is just drunk enough that he's like, okay, and he kind of goes to go for Gianni's trousers.
Ace falls out of
he's
her
like,
chair
I'm sorry,
laughing about
Gianni.
it.
She told me to check.
I put my hands behind my head.
Or you're gonna let him? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just gonna go to do it, but you're just gonna. So he's like, I've never done this before. I mean, does he have?
That's
Do you have
definitely something like
pockets?
that.
You not messed with pants before? Or trousers?
Well, you know, I mean, I put them on. I've never searched someone's trousers before.
If you have, that is definitely an issue. It's usually
He-
much easier to find.
He's gonna like pat down and pat the pockets. And does he find anything in your pockets?
Probably whatever wad of paper I still haven't pulled out from the ship.
Your tarot cards.
No, I
Is
have a
this your
waterproof
tarot
pouch.
deck, or
case.
you're happy to see me? Is that the tower card, or are you happy to see me? How many more of these can we come up with?
Well, I assuming
Careful,
Charles
you'll
does
pull the
not.
ace of spades.
I'm assuming Charles does not find money.
No.
Okay. He goes, very cool. Well, I didn't find anything. Why are you all looking at me like that?
No, you did great. It was wonderful. Thank you for checking. You know,
Next time, buy me a drink, and I walk away.
Charles looks confused.
did you have any
Oh,
trouble?
we were
with him?
supposed to check him, right? For.
You did everything right, Charles.
You were great.
it
Have
was
another
great.
drink.
You were great. Do not. To quote Nanette, you are great.
I pour
Have
some of
another.
the-
I'm like,
That is what you sound like.
amazing.
I pour some of the drink into the teacup.
Okay, sure. And okay, so is that how you're going to pass the rest of the afternoon and into the evening?
What time
gonna
does
roll
the
up
paper that I got
sloshed.
from the girl say?
Okay, yeah, no, it's the name of a bar, and it has a time on it, 8 o'clock.
All right. Well, that's kind of late, but hey, whatever. If they're all going to get in their cups, I'm just going to go and have fun.
Okay. Sweet. So that's what y'all are going to do for the evening. Just okay. All right. So Gianni.
I request a. I actually, while they're all doing that, I will ask I will request a bath from the tavern.
Sure.
It has been a while.
Oh, that's so smart. This might be our last chance.
Exactly, and I need to
Do you think
trim
they
up a
have
bit.
bathhouses here?
Not
Oh,
like
shit.
I'm used to.
I can't go to a bathhouse.
Like you mean like the Assyrian ones?
Sure.
I can ask.
You know, we probably can't go to those anyway, so...
Okay. All right. So Andreas is going to go take a bath, and continuing to drink. Andreas doing anything else? No. Okay.
Just clean up.
Okay.
I am going to also have a bath.
Okay.
I haven't had one in a spell.
Okay.
My dad always said I shouldn't drink and then bathe, but I'm doing it because you know what? I'm a grown ass woman.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Can I join you? I don't know how to do it myself.
You want to get in a bath with me?
I'm assuming you're talking to
Miss
her.
Primavera.
No, not with you.
I mean,
Just
go with us, you mean? Okay. I'm too drunk to be embarrassed. Join us.
how do you get your back then? And wash your hair?
You put your head under the.
No, that's what the servants are for.
We ain't got none of them anymore.
Yeah, it's becoming apparent Nanette has never done this on her own.
Just come with me. I'll show you. This is where
This is
you're go-
exciting.
This is where you learn how to be a grown-up.
I'm very much grown up. I just have servants do just about everything else for me.
Well, going to the bathhouse chat, specifically David, has bought you another danger point.
Oh no.
For the bath.
Well, no, just he spotted they spotted a danger point in this moment, so hey, have fun.
Danger, oh, my, that's
That's a lot of danger. Oh
Come on,
boy.
people.
The villains are right on our butts, and we're wasted.
Danger.
And
Alrighty then, Gianni. So while they're all doing that, and by the way, before y'all, Charles says, "Well, I think it's beautiful. I think love is love, and I think it's beautiful that they're helping each other out and bonding, even through such, hard time, and such stress." No, I mean. Is that not?
Sure, yeah.
it sounds like he wants to join us. Maybe
Yeah,
he also
probably.
doesn't know how to wash his hair.
That's a
That
good
could
chance.
be.
I know how to wash my hair. For sure, I do.
This is going a place, I'm... Yeah, okay, let's all go
It's a
have
blue
baths.
house, right? It's a blue bathhouse, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a bathhouse. Well, they have like a bath area in the inn that the guests can use.
It's not red,
Individual
right?
baths or like a pool, like a hot pool.
There are some, if you pay a little extra, you can have like a couple individual baths, but there is kind of like a pool bathhouse sort of area as well.
Well,
Andreas?
whichever one we go to, I'll pay for whatever everybody wants, but I'm telling you now, if we do the big one, I don't have any problems with being seen naked, but the rest of you, if you do have problems with seeing me naked, I'm not responsible for what kind of, what that does to you. All right? Good or bad.
Andreas takes a careful note of the color that the bathing area is painted. And the tiling.
It's the one that's not for,
Intimate encounters.
Yes.
Oh, in which case, Andreas goes in and he just, literally without hesitation, thump, and right into the communal pool.
Sweet. Sweet. Good thing this stream is on late at night. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're not describing body parts or anything. We're all right.
No, so y'all are doing that, getting clean, drinking, maybe having some food, all of that stuff. And Gianni, you're going to this bar, right?
Can I
Yes,
spend
I
a
am.
hero point for a charcuterie plate to be brought to the side? 2 of them to be brought to the
Pretty
side
sure
of
we
the
can
bath.
just spend guilders to have that happen.
Sure, yeah, you have enough. If Nanette's willing to part with some of her.
Do you like
Uber.
charcuteries?
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yes.
Of course, in Montaigne.
Charcuteries. 2 of them.
Charcuterie.
Come on, it's the charcuterie. Let's bring it in. You don't have a charcuterie with your bath?
I spend the whole time listening to Nanette and trying to
say
mimic her accent. Charcuterie. Oui, oui. Charcuterie.
No, it does sort of sound like you're making fun of me now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's
No.
not what I mean.
No. You get used to it. It's with, like this. And,
Most of
getting
the
the accent
people-
perfect.
Most of the people that I've heard with Montaigne accents just go "oh" a lot, and I don't understand why. I feel like that'd be making fun of you, but I'm not. I just don't. I don't
This is
speak
just how we
anything.
clear our throats. Ugh.
Ah, indeed.
Oh, okay.
So Gianni, you're going to the bar.
I'm going to a bar.
It's a fairly, decent, it's a classy, it's not far from where the Blue Pearl is. It's a classy little, Castilian, bar. And you see the bank teller, Sophia, sitting at the bar in a very lovely dress.
I will join her and be charming.
All right. Do you have any particular goal, or is it just to pass a lovely evening with a lovely lady?
Pass a lovely evening with a lovely lady, dance, be merry, and have a good time. That's about it.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So, near the end of the evening, she will request that you walk her back to her place.
Happily. That is the honorable thing. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Okay. All right.
Of
So,
course it's a trap, yes.
yeah, and it's kind of up to you what happens there. So, how is Gianni going to be? Is he going to kind of go with the flow? Is he going to have some boundaries? Just very general. We don't need to get into specifics.
No,
just
he's...
so we know.
In the end, Gianni is, all talk and no walk. So the thing
All
is...
talk, no game.
Yeah. So, he will, see her to the place, and, there'll be the chase performance, and if she, anything else of, if she's trying to invite him in or anything else, just like, no, ma'am, no, madam, perhaps another evening. And, a kiss on the hand, tries to be as charming as possible, and departs.
Okay. All right. She seems very disappointed. The charm still. The forbidden fruit is always sweeter, isn't it? Okay, so by the time you get back to the inn, these guys are, they got charcuterie board back in the, they brought it from the bath, I assume by this time. They've got it. They got, empty bottle, everything.
And we're supposed to meet the Invisible College when?
Midnight.
Oh, we got plenty of time to sober up.
I just remembered. Are you holding the button?
No.
I just remembered I'm wounded.
Yeah.
Am I bleeding?
No, it's more like you feel bruised and achy on the inside. You're not really, you might have had like a bloody nose.
Okay, so this bath feels amazing. Like every time they put more hot water in it, I'm like, choice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say you can get your 2 wounds back. You've eaten. They probably have some medical supplies you can use, etc., etc. So you definitely feel more, perfect.
Yeah, I didn't even think to ask Dr. Diaz if he could like doctor me up, but if I just feel like
your concern for
internally
Charles above yourself is touching.
Here, can I activate one of my backgrounds because you basically just read my background.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it has to do with Salen, but it just says +1 hero point when putting aside personal desires to ensure safety and comfort of allies.
Absolutely, hero point. Absolutely. Excellent. So, if there's nothing anybody wants to do before you all rest or wait for the
I would like
to come around.
I would like to spend a hero point to make sure that I am completely sobered up. Completely, like no even kind of hangover. It's like I'm drunk for a while and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready to go to this meeting.
Okay. Absolutely.
I am going to do a bad thing.
No.
I am going to, while everybody's in this state, I want to look at everyone, and I'm going to peer into the weave, and I want to know what everyone's, let's say, hubris is.
Okay. Excellent. Take a lash for that.
Aren't you supposed to, like, pay out on your lashes last episode?
Technically, yes, but I never called it. So I've got 3 lashes right now, so that'll be a 4th.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So everybody tell them what the hubris is.
Andres' hubris is the duel.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. What about Nanette?
Her hubris is superstitious.
And with Ace?
Mine is arrogant. It's actually come into play already in this in episode 1 it did, I think. Maybe it was our episode 0. Either way, it's arrogant.
All right, so you have that knowledge.
That's all he wants for now.
Okay. So are you guys going to try? Is everyone going to who's going to try to stay awake? Who's going to try to like nap before the meeting? What's
Nap time.
Okay, so Nanette's going to nap. Charles is already. By the time y'all, he's snoring softly. So Nanette's gonna nap. Andreas, are you gonna try to stay up or?
Andreas will stay up and drink water and eat food.
Okay. And Ace?
I am going to, if I spent my hero point so I could sober up, I indeed do sober up, and after the bath I recompose myself and get ready. I put on nice clean clothes, adjust my long pirate jacket, not my pirate jacket, but it's a long coat with long sleeves over the bracer. I even see if I can't possibly put my shirt sleeves over the bracer, because I don't want anybody to see it. Like,
Indeed.
I try to take every effort to kind of keep it hidden. I definitely do not want the people from the college to see it when we go to meet them, at least not at first. And,
Indeed.
And then I get the box that the bracer was in, and I kind of like pretty it up a little bit. I clean it up, and I get ready to go meet people who need to get me off this rock.
Okay.
Because once I sobered up, I remembered that old Silent Death is on his way.
Uh-huh. Gianni?
Pretty much just going to get ready, and going into this, he's going to go ahead and pay the piper.
Okay.
So I'm going to take 4 wounds to pay off my lashes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so y'all are preparing or napping, whatever you're doing, on and about 11:30 or so, or just about the time you're about to get ready to leave, and you'll have to wake Nanette and Charles up to get them ready. Policia, open up the door. And with that, we will take a break.
Wonderful.
Of course.
Great.
No peace for the wicked.
Right, come right back, and we will see you in 10 minutes.
See you in 10 minutes, all.
All right,
Man.
and we are back in, everybody.
Welcome back. Welcome back,
Hope you're
everybody.
ready for trouble.
Yeah, when last we left, everybody was getting prepared or napping or any of that stuff, and there was a knock on the door. Policia, open up. All right, let's get what everybody is doing. Let's start with Ace, and she is sober, and
I am sober, and I'm actually. I don't know if I need to roll for it, but I'm going to say Ace is not surprised that the policia have shown up.
okay. What action is she
So,
going to take?
I will go to the door and hold it shut.
Okay, that will be yours. Gianni, what is Gianni going to do?
Well, this will be very quick, and I will walk over and get the coffer and find a way to tie it off.
Okay. All right, Andreas.
Andreas is looking for an alternate exit. Is there a window?
Is a window. Absolutely.
I will open
You're
it up.
on the second floor.
I'm okay with that. I will open it up and look out. That'll be my action.
Okay. And Nanette, you are jolted awake.
Probably falls out of bed and attempts to scramble to get as many of her things as she can. Probably slapping a wig on sideways.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, first thing I'm gonna do before everybody makes rolls and I deal with everybody's actions, I'm gonna spend a danger point. Everything is 15 for raises for the rest of this scene. All right, we will do that. I'm also gonna spend one to give my villain 2 more dice to roll on his next roll. All right, so let's deal with Nanette first. You scramble and get your wig on. All right, and so that's kind of what your action is going to be taken up doing, unless you want to spend a hero point or do a sorcery of some kind or anything like that.
Sorcery? What's that? No. She's just trying to scramble her things and wake up.
I mean, you could get everybody out of there. I mean, just
We don't want to go where that would end us
Just saying.
up.
Just say. All right, and then we will deal with Andreas. You're looking out the window. You're on the second floor. You look out the street. It is late at night. There is kind of an awning there, above, because you're kind of above the door to the Blue Pearl. So there is an awning, and you do see kind of across the way there is a carriage. And the carriage driver seems to be smoking a cigarette, leaning up against the thing, obviously leaning up against the wall, obviously on a break.
I have a plan, and it's not great.
At least you have a plan.
Let's go ahead and have you roll wits and notice just to see if you notice anything else.
Wow. Holy cow. I got 2 raises and 1 extra die. I rolled 3 ones.
Ah! Oh
I
no!
see the luck is on one side of the table, and it is not on.
No, not today.
All
so
right.
2 raises with 1 extra die if you'd like to purchase
All right. So those are the 2 things you see then. That's it. Just the awning and the carriage driver across the street smoking a cigarette on a break. Gianni, you are going to the coffer with the money in it, and you're going to bind it.
Yep. Trying to bind it to me somehow. So
Okay.
we can run away with it.
Okay.
The coffer
All
of
right.
money.
Yeah. The coffer of money. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So you're going to do that. Let's go ahead and do. Give me 1 second. I need to see the. I'm gonna make you roll to see how well you do tying this all together. Let me get in the back here. Here we go. All right, I have what I need. Okay.
Athletics or theft? Since theft.
It will be finesse, dexterity, and yeah, let's say theft.
All right.
So if anyone's going to attempt to take this away from you, whatever number of raises you roll is how many they'll have to have. Or if it's going to fall or anything like that, that's how many raises I would need to have.
Alrighty.
And remember, they're 15.
Yep. That's the fun part.
Crap, I forgot there were 15s. I only got one raise.
Okay, then. I'll say you still notice those two things.
So, let me see, is that right? Okay, so grand total, we're looking at 2 raises.
Okay.
And no spares to buy.
Alright. So that's what I would have to do if it's going to fall or be taken from you. Alright. And, okay, let's go ahead and... Ace, you are on the door. This is going to be brawn and athletics.
Righto, alright, let's see. That's not great, but we're gonna do it.
And I
That's
have those
one.
2 more.
That's one. I got 2 that you could buy though if you wanted. I think. Let's see. That's 1. Yeah, I can't make it happen any other way. But I would like to spend a hero point to go. I'm sorry. Who's asking? Who's at the door? What are you banging around for? I paid good money for this room for you to be making so much noise.
Okay. So, your goal is to get them to talk to you this now?
Yep.
Okay. So they're still going to try coming into the... Because they rolled against you because they were trying to come into the door. Yeah. And they got way more than you. So, that you're not holding this door at all.
Fine.
They are
That's
coming
fine.
through.
I'm going to stay behind it. I'm going to keep it between me and them.
Okay. All right. So... Gianni, you've got the coffers. You're looking out the window. Nanette, you're pulling stuff together. Charles is kind of... What's going on? However, the door obviously is not going to hold for much longer. So let's get everybody's actions for that. Let's start with Nanette.
Okay, Nanette is probably, I'm assuming, gathered enough of things and probably found pants. And is likely going to look at the window and be like, is there?
All right. So Nanette's going to go over to the door, the window.
Yeah.
The window where Andreas is. And Andreas, what are you doing?
Andreas is going to say, get everyone out here. I'm going to get us that carriage. It is going to take off, jump out the window, take off running across the thing, jump to the carriage, and attempt to kick the driver off while doing this.
What?
Alrighty. So, considering you have been drinking, okay, so you will need, let me see, you're wanting to leap down, okay, so you want to leap straight to the carriage across the street?
Oh, yeah. And if I need to burn a hero point in order to activate my battle sorcery to get the extra distance through speed, I will happily do so.
Okay. Alright. The driver is actually not on the carriage. He was having his cigarette, so... Alright. So for this act, I'm gonna come back to you while you're... So, Nanette goes over to the window, Andrea says that, and leaps out the window. Okay. Awesome. All right, Gianni, what are you doing? You have procured the coffer at this point to yourself. You see Andreas go out the window.
Does anyone look like they're not going to go? I mean, I'm looking over at Nanette and at, at Ace.
Oh, Charles is looking extremely nervous and confused. He is not over by the window at this moment.
I think I'm gonna pick up Charles, and I'm just gonna be like, hang on.
You're gonna go out the window.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Ace.
So are
Gianni...
they in the room yet, or are they not in the room yet?
They will be in the room next thing. So you have time to do...
Did all of my friends leave out the window?
Nanette has not. Gianni has grabbed Charles and leapt out the window. Andreas has leapt out the window.
I haven't done anything wrong. I'll let him come through. And I'll just be like, get out of the bloody room, Nanette.
Out the window. Up there. And she struggles with it.
Okay.
That's fine.
She's not a
Alright.
small lady. It's probably a smaller window.
Okay. So she is gonna go out the window, though.
It's a scramble, but yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so... Andreas, let's go ahead and do everybody's roles for getting out the window, and then we'll come back to Ace letting these folks come into the room. So let's do that first and see how everybody fares. So Andreas, you're first up, since you were first out the window. So first of all, you're gonna need one raise to actually do the action, jump out the window and leap for this. The consequences of which is you're gonna take 3 wounds if you miss. So that's gonna be, I mean, because you're just gonna splat off a second story. So there's gonna be 4 raises at this point. And then you wanna take or get on the carriage.
That was the goal.
Okay.
Actually, I was planning. I thought he was in the driver's seat, but yeah, my goal was kind of land on him.
Okay. All right. So that's gonna be 4. It's gonna be 4 raises. That's
Are
gonna
we
be
at standard or
We are still at the 15 because it's the
Okay.
same scene.
I got 3 raises.
So you can have your choice. You can either not make it to the carriage, but make it down without wounds. You can take 1 wound and have that. So basically, you can spend your 3 raises how you like. So you have actually going out the window, 3 wounds, and getting to the carriage.
I would like to. I'm out the window, getting down, and you said I can negate at least 1 wound.
Yeah, you can take 2. You had, yeah, so you'd have to take 2 because you got 3. So
I'll take the 2 wounds.
okay, all right,
Uh,
okay.
No, that doesn't quite count yet.
So describe how this happens, and you get wounds, and you go out the window.
He runs. So basically, he's running across that ledge, and then just takes a flying leap, kind of Assassin's Creed style, up and over. Kind of misjudges it, and instead of like landing either on the guy or on the thing, he's like in between, and just right in the gut, just slams into the. It takes the carriage seat right into the gut and goes. Ugh.
Oh no. Okay. All right then. So now we're on to Gianni. You have Charles. So, all right. So for you, it's going to be 1 for going out the window, 3 for wounds. You will need another one to make sure that Charles does not get hurt in any kind of way, since you have him. Is there anything else that Gianni is going to? That's 5 right there. So are you going to try to add anything else onto that, or do you just want to get down safely? Do you have a goal?
Well, I am doing so with the most, as much daring do and panache as possible. I pick up Charles in my arms, just holding him in my arms, and I say, "You should wrap your hands around my neck, sir." And I look out the window, and you said there was an awning?
Yep.
So I just step off and let the awning break my fall. But just like trying to do so with a little bit of flair.
All right. So I'm going to add the twist here that you will need 2 more raises to keep that coffer that you have tied onto you. So that's a total of 7 raises for all of this to make it safely to the ground with Charles, with no
Can I
wounds, with your coffer.
Spend a hero point to give him 3 more dice?
Sure.
Okay.
And remember, it is still 15. Well, he's trying to do a lot here. He's trying to commit
He is,
some
yes.
daring do.
Actually, will you let me spend one of my hero points? Because then he will get 4 dice.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Nanette's
So is that
shouting
4
encouragement. Like,
additional?
If you lose my money, I will kill you!
you can do it!
So did he just get 7 extra dice from hero points, or just 4?
4.
And the thing
Alright,
is,
so
I
this
wish
is-
that 10 would count as more than just 1 raise, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a finesse and athletics.
Can I use my panache? Because I was trying to be all flashy doing it.
Absolutely, and I will even give you an extra die for doing it with some daring do and flair. So take 5 extra die.
Wow. Oh, I need 1 extra die then. I'm at my max of my pool. I'll just roll 1 of mine extra here in a second. Alright. Oh, dang it. How many raises did I need?
7 total to
7.
do everything you want to do. Get out the window, have no wounds, keep Charles safe, and then 2 to keep the coffers completely intact that you have attached onto yourself.
So, all told, because of the amazing amount of dice, and thank you all so much with that help, I'm looking at 5 raises. So I've got 2 left over. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'll take the wounds.
Okay, so you're going to take two wounds.
There we go.
Okay. All right, so you take 2 wounds, you protect Charles. You kind of, you can describe how this works for you, if you like, as you go out the window and drop down onto the awning.
I show a little bit of flair and panache, but and the awning, I bounce once on the awning, and then we fall through it. And we land together on the ground with Charles landing on top of me. And so, yeah. That's how I'll take those wounds.
All right, so you've got 6 now total.
There
All
we go.
right, yeah, because you were taking your lashes and stuff too. All right.
Which
Nanette's
puts me
turn.
on my first
Free opportunity.
dramatic wound.
Oh, an opportunity?
Yeah,
That's right.
chat bought us another free opportunity. So I don't know if we've used the other one yet, and we may have 2 on the table.
So you have 2. Yeah, you haven't used the other one yet. So, all right. So you can kind of say, give yourselves, figure out, ask and use your opportunity if you like during all of this. All right. So Nanette, it is your turn. That's going to be 4 raises for her to
May
get
I
out the window.
spend a hero point to help Nanette get out of
Yes. Tuck
I
and
will
roll,
hold-
Nanette. Tuck and
I
roll.
will slowly kind of like lower her down as far as my long Vesson March's arm can reach.
I was given 2 D10s. Can I use both of them?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, that and then whatever you get from me spending a hero point.
Yeah. So that'd be 3. Remember, it's 15.
Y'all, my dice suck.
Where's the ladybug dice?
I have 3 1s and 2 2s.
Oh no!
Did you get any?
I think I might have 2 altogether. Let me, because I did get a 9 in that bunch. But give me a second to math.
Holy cow! The dice have turned on us.
That is 1 raise.
You
Oh,
just
thank
got
you,
2
thank
rerolls
you.
in chat.
Thanks, friends.
1. Okay, so you can go out the window and take the wounds, or you can kind of fall out the window and take.
She did get rerolls. Do you want to use one of your rerolls to try again?
Yeah. It's because it's gonna be real messy. Otherwise, I might have a broken leg or something.
Yeah.
She can land on me too.
Yeah. Well, you did kind of break the awning, so.
And Nanette is a larger girl. I don't know if this is gonna go well for you.
So it's just like whoop, Gianni, Charles, Nanette. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Gianni might die.
Andreas is watching this like.
You can do it, Ala. Reroll. Give it a
with
shot.
the reroll,
There are worse deaths than being smothered. By
3
the
raises.
Okay, 3. Okay, so you're gonna take 1 wound. I take it.
Yeah.
Sprained ankle.
Yeah, a sprained an ankle. That makes sense. She kind of tumbles out the window, with some assistance,
All
but
right.
has a hard time kind of catching herself, especially with the broken awning. It just sort of lands gracelessly, probably right next to Gianni and Charles,
Well, Pansy,
in a
meeting you
heap of
here.
wig and skirt and pant and whatever else she had.
All right.
Well, once they're all out the window, and I have
They have
done what I
busted
can to
in.
help them
Yeah,
out.
they're. Yeah.
Well, I shut the window. If I can I use one of those free opportunities to shut the window and kind of
Yes.
move away from it and just be standing in the middle of the room when they burst in?
Absolutely.
And fantastic. Thank you, chat, for that free opportunity.
So, bursting into the room looks like a bunch of Puerto del Sur guards. Like, you see maybe, from the ones you can see, there's at least 8 of them that you can see, and there's a gentleman who looks like he's in charge, kind of in front, coming into the room. And he looks at you, standing there in the middle of the room.
I casually, with no haste, pull a cigarette from inside my coat pocket, and I pat my pockets for a match. Like, do you have a match, sir? Oh, found
Where-
one. And light my cigarette.
Where are your friends? We heard voices in here.
What you doing listening at me door? Usually where I come from, if there's a lad listening at a woman's door, well, I mean, would you like me to punch you now or punch you later?
Okay, so are you trying to intimidate him? Or are you trying to convince him to
Intimidate
leave?
or embarrass him.
Alright. Okay. Alright. So that will be probably wits and intimidate, yeah. Wits and intimidate. Remember, it's 15. So you will need 1 to, do what you're gonna do, to take your action. You will need another to actually convince him of what's going on. The consequence of which is he will send guards outside because he does not believe you at all. So you'll need 3 for all of that to occur.
3 raises, alright. Well, I'm rolling 3 plus 2 plus 1. So I'm rolling 6 dice for this, so let's see what happens. Well,
No.
give me a second because math is not my strong. I got 2 raises.
All right, you got 2. All right.
With 1 left over if you want to buy it.
Yeah, I'll do so. I will take that, add to my pile here. Okay. So, what are you going to take? So, you took your action. I mean, you can also say, and intimidate him and make him so he doesn't send anybody out of the room. So you can
Yeah,
pick
I would
2 of
like
those.
to keep him from sending people outside.
Okay. Yeah, because
So
you
I'm
look
just
like
gonna-
he's like looking around, and you have the feeling that he's gonna like send people searching. So
Sure,
you,
sure.
he's not intimidated by you, but at this point, he's not sending anybody away.
That works. That works. What are you looking for, sir? I mean, you say I had friends in here, but if you look around, I've got nobody. And it is a tavern and an establishment, and if I did have somebody up here, I really don't know what business it is of yours, whose company I keep in my private areas. Private rooms. Sounds less...
We know
I'll leave it at private areas, and he can just take it what he wants. So can I roll for embarrassment again?
Yeah, we can do a roll to see how he responds to that. Let's
Good,
do
good.
an opposed this time,
Okay,
because he's not intimidated, but he's trying to this is kind of becoming a little battle of wills here. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Did you roll? Okay. How many did you?
What did you want me to roll? Same thing? Wits?
Yeah, roll your wits and your
intimidate?
intimidate, yeah.
I believe that's only a 1. Yeah, I mean, with 2 left over.
Okay,
If we're
so
still
how
doing
many did
15,
you-
yeah, it's only 1.
Yeah, we were doing 15. 1? Alright. So it doesn't seem to work. He got 2.
Okay.
So he says, harboring criminals is what you're doing in here.
Am I? What criminal was I harboring?
We have it from
Two
one
of-
of your fellow sailors on the pot of gold who came for the reward money and told us that you and your friends are harboring Ninette Prevert.
Well, you're free to look around the room if you'd really like to.
If you
I
tell us,
do recall a Ninette Primavera boarding the Utrecht in Charus. But where she's gone since we got off the boat here in Castile, I couldn't tell you. And I haven't seen any of the other people that I worked on that ship with. So if any of my crewmen from the Utrecht, who were shipwrecked and probably looking for some fast money, happen to tell you that, I don't know, you might take a moment and check your sources before you come barreling in my door, which I did rightfully pay for.
All right, so it's going to be a convince. You're trying to convince him to back off, so it's going to be a wits and convince roll. I'm going to say you're just going to need 1 to take your action, 1 to convince him, 3 not to let him really suspect you and send people outside.
Sure. If I spend a hero point, can I get another dice?
You can spend a hero point, yes, to get an extra die.
Yes.
It is.
I need it.
You can add a bonus D10. Yeah, to your own.
Alrighty, give me a second. I got 2.
Okay, so you have your options. You did your action. He's convinced and letting him again send somebody out of the room.
I would rather keep nobody going out of the room again. To the point that I'm willing to say, if you would like to take me in and search the room, you are more than welcome to. But I've done nothing illegal here.
Okay. And with that, we're going to switch over to the outside. Okay, you guys outside with Charles. Andreas, what's happening? You've gotten on the carriage, I assume?
Well, I guess I didn't quite make it to the carriage. I probably ended up falling to the ground after taking a after taking the seat to my stomach. And
Okay.
so the driver's there having a cigarette.
He is, and when he sees that happen, he pulls out a sword at his side and says, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Uh,
And he's gonna, kind of, you know, threaten you with it.
uh, are you for hire?
Yes, it depends. I just saw the policia go in here. It'll cost you a pretty penny.
We're good for it.
Prove you're good for it.
Looks over at the pile. It'll be a minute, but trust me, we're good for it.
All right. Meanwhile, oh, go ahead. Finish up what you're doing.
Yes, I'm attempting to convince him that we are good for it.
All right. Excellent. All right. Okay. So you're gonna try to convince him you're good for it. Hold that thought. Gianni and Nanette.
I'll walk over and I'll spend one of my hero points I've gotten this evening and make a disarming smile at him. Sir, please. The church is after us, for they do not recognize the love that we have. Please help us get away.
Who are you indicating is the other part of this?
The person who's
here.
on top of me, Charles.
Charles!
Oh, we still carry
I don't know
Charles.
if he
Charles
speaks.
starts internally panicking.
I don't
and
know if he
screaming
speaks.
as he's looking at
does
you.
he speak Castilian?
He does speak Castilian. Yes, he speaks a lot of different language, so he was definitely hearing you.
But yes,
he's
also I'll spend a hero point for a
panicking.
disarming smile so that he wishes us no ill will.
All right. All right, excellent. Nanette.
She's sort of still a pile of limbs, but she kind of gets up and tries to keep her face low. She's like, "Yes, we are needing to get away."
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna spend your disarming smile that he wishes you no ill will. Okay. All right. So the driver kind of has his sword out, kind of at it, and you come over, and he looks between you and Charles, and Charles just looks, like internally panicking, and you're, trying to grin, and the driver, he says, "Well, I'm all for love by whichever means one can get it, but I will still need compensation."
Very well, sir. We can pay you. I assure you of that.
As I was telling your friend, you need to prove it.
I shall provide.
Love is great, but money speaks louder.
Very true. Very true. But can we please go and I will pay you? As if I do not provide coin, you can stop the carriage immediately.
All right, you're gonna try to convince him?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Roll. Roll your panache and convince, because you're trying to be charming and convince him. You'd also use perform if that's because you're trying to take on the role of this,
I'll do it.
So I'll say, you're going to use one for your action, and you will just need another to convince him of this.
All right. Well, I've got 3 raises with nothing to buy.
Okay, excellent. So, you can go ahead and do that, and he, you convince, and you're very convincing, and he, you kind of watch him, melt a little, melt a little bit. He looks at Charles, who looks very pathetic, looks at Nanette, who also looks pretty pathetic, and he says, "All right, get in, but you show me coin as soon as we're on the road."
You got it.
Wait, we cannot leave Mademoiselle Ace.
We'll circle the block. You can drop us off here if I do not provide money. that sounds fair, right?
All right, get in.
All right.
Are you gonna get in now? I mean, you were protesting about leaving.
We'll
Ace.
get in if, we're gonna circle the block.
Okay.
Maybe a few times, however long it takes. We can't just abandon her.
I would never.
That's fucking right. Where's my money?
I like that he was also imitating your accent there. Johnny being a little butt.
Plus,
Okay,
kitchen knife.
so you all get into the carriage and the driver.
If you're gonna circle the block, I do not get in the carriage.
Oh, okay.
I will base.
Okay.
Actually,
So.
no, I get on top of the carriage.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're gonna get up by the driver.
That's not suspicious at all.
Nothing like a guy in a bright red coat on top of a carriage.
Doesn't look suspicious.
Just spin in place. We'll look like an emergency vehicle.
Hey,
All right.
someone's gotta be up there to catch Amelia when she jumps out of the window.
All right. Okay. All right. So Andres, you're gonna be on the top of the carriage. Everybody else is getting inside. Okay. All right. So the driver kind of takes off to go around the block. Meanwhile, in the room, the guy's looking at Ace, and he says, "You start searching the room," and he talks to some of his men, and the men they're going to start going through the room. Is Ace going to stop them or say anything, or?
I'm going to smoke my cigarette and step closer to the captain of this guard, and I'm gonna just blow the smoke out of the side of my mouth at him.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I hope this is how you yeah, I know. If this is how you get your kicks, well, whatever you need to do.
All right. So let's see. This is the point where I'm going to use a danger point to add
Another one.
another one to add another dice to his roll. He's looking for any evidence that you had other people in here.
Sure.
So
I mean, there is another free opportunity on the table that was bought by chat. Could I say that all the stuff from the hair dyeing and the cutting has all been, it was all thrown away, and
Sure.
The empty bottles and stuff, because we took all the bottles and everything down to the spa. So
yeah.
or down to the bathhouse. So I'm going to say that I would like to say that there's not much in here, but there might be something I'd have missed. But as far as like the bottles and the extra cups and things.
All right, well, let's do a roll then. This is going to be wits and hide. So it's going to be contested. He's going to be, searching, and you're going to be like hoping everybody got everything out of the room. All right. Still same scene.
I'm going to use a hero point to have another die.
And we will say we'll say that there are indeed 4 pieces of evidence in this room. So you will need at least 4, and he will only going to need to get, because you're going to need to stop him from finding any of them. So you will need 4.
Can I ask you a question? How many guards are in here?
There's probably 5 or 6 in here.
Jesus.
And there's more out in the hallway. All right, let's see. All right, 4. All right. How many did you get?
you can't tell me how many you got first?
Yes, I got 3.
Okay, well, I only got 2.
Okay.
I don't have... I'm gonna surprise y'all, but wits is not my best. So all these wits, I'm literally just using my putting aside personal desires to ensure safety of allies. But yeah,
Yeah.
what does he find?
He's going to find, let's say poor Charles, left his book behind because Gianni, grabbed him so quickly to toss him out the window.
All right.
He wasn't able to grab it. And, you might have, if you kind of knew, you might be able to throw it under, or hide it or something. And you did it for a couple things that you saw because everybody left in a hurry. So you kind of were able to, for a couple of them, but not all of them. You were able to hide.
The book that he leaves, does it have his name in it?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, he is obviously, as any good person would, inscribe it with his name and all of this other stuff.
And he shows me the book and says, huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, and at this point, he's seen it and heard enough. He's gonna shout out to the hallway, and he's gonna say, you, group B, look outside. And you hear a bunch of foots like going downstairs, in the hallway, and down the stairs of the inn.
Have you never bought a secondhand book, you buffoon? I guess reading isn't your strong suit, is it?
All right. Are you going to try to intimidate him? Get him to leave?
So there's still 6 people in the room?
Yes, 5 of his soldiers and him. Yes.
All right. I mean, I can show you my papers. I am just a sailor. But if you're going to be an ass about it, might as well just take me in.
I was like, all right, very well, if that's what you want. And he's gonna, indicate his guards to start tromping you outside. He's gonna, start moving you to go outside the inn.
All right. I'll let him. He's got no proof of anything.
All right. So all that was...
Yeah.
At least for more questioning. So,
Sure.
Yeah. So, while all of this was going on, while everybody was dealing with the carriage and doing all that, so we kind of had these 2 things going on at the same time. When you guys come around the block, you see that there is 2 groups. You can kind of see they have different uniforms. 2 groups of 8. So 16 total soldiers and a captain. Someone who looks like he's in charge as you come around the corner of the block, and you see Ace kind of in the middle of them. As you come around.
I don't think we can take all of them.
Keep your head down, please. And
yeah. I was just gonna say, if I see you guys at all, I'm going to be giving very pointed looks that says, don't say anything. But I don't know if you can tell from the distance. But I'm just like...
Everyone can do wits and notice. Why don't you go ahead to do wits and notice to see them in the carriage, and everybody else do wit and notice to get her signal. And you'll only need 1, so it's not a big deal, but it still could fail. So
are we
we're
still
gonna go
on
ahead.
15s? Where were those rolls a second ago? Are we still on 15s? Or are we back at
We are not, because the scene has changed to be outside, and it is now kind of a different thing. However, I have a danger point, so it is still 15.
We were so close.
Yeah.
I've rolled
Well,
so
I
many
mean, that's-
10s this time.
Right?
I know. I'm like, god damn it.
2 with 2 extra if you'd like to purchase them to get yourself some more dangerous points.
It also gives you hero points, but
I know.
I got 3 with no extra. The whole way that we're going down, I'm just like, I really hope you didn't give him that, give whoever it was that reward money, because you're gonna show yourself, more of a fool than you look.
So you definitely see them in the carriage then with that roll. So you definitely see
definitely
them like, in
give
the
them a
carriage
look.
kind of coming by. And I assume you all notice or giving you the look. Did anybody get at least one success, one
Got
raise?
two.
I got nothing.
Okay, yeah. So you all see her like, trying to be like, go. I assume that's your signal you're trying to get across.
Yeah, I make eye contact with probably all three of them or whichever ones see me, and then I immediately, I just kind of, I look away and I'm like, come on, let's go. And I try to say it loud enough that if they're listening, they can hear me say.
What time is it?
It is about midnight.
Oh. I kind of look down and go, we really don't have time for this.
So let's kind of get a quick temp of what everybody's going to do. Ace, I assume you're just going to kind of be with the captain and like
Yep.
shouting insults at him and like
I'm
being
honestly
sassy.
letting them arrest me.
Okay.
And hoping the others go on. I will catch up with them later because they have literally no proof that I came in here with Nanette.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got that fancy bracer on you, and that's what they're really looking for.
I mean, maybe.
All right. So
I don't have the cross on me, at least.
So Ace is there being sassy, like, hey, you hit every branch
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
just
ugly
being an
tree,
asshole.
whatever. And okay, so the three of you in the carriage, you see Ace there, and she's giving you like go, but what are you guys going to do? Are you going to keep going? Someone going to suggest something different?
Don't we know her? And Nanette, I take off my sash and I hand you the coffers. And then I reach over and I hold Charles's hands. I'm like, Charles, it would have never worked out. And then as we make it around the corner, I will jump out of the carriage and I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna follow and make sure that Ace doesn't need any backup.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna kind of like get out of the carriage and then kind of follow the contingent of soldiers.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Nanette. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna handle things?
What the fuck are we supposed to do now? Pardon my French, but
That word was
Where's
French?
France?
I thought it was Thayan.
yeah, Nanette obviously is torn because like her friend is right here, but also getting caught is
Bad
a
news.
big fat waste. Driver, can you sort of stay about a block away just in case? Here is 20 guilders for now. Just don't go far. Just we want to follow the guards from like a safe distance.
All right, excellent. Driver's like, yeah, he's kind of staying back. Gianni had gotten out and kind of was fun. You guys are kind of slowly following in the. Andreas, what are you gonna do?
Andreas is going as Gianni goes out one door. Andreas is going to basically grab a hold of the edge of the carriage and go in through a window so that he's no longer on top of the carriage.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna assume that's easy enough.
I would like to try to do one thing, but you as a GM can tell me that it is impossible for me to do so.
What would you like to do?
I want to use the bracer.
Oh. Okay. So every time you use the bracer, you will take wounds.
That's
so
I'm
it's
young.
it's gonna depend on how big what you're trying to do is, how many wounds you're gonna take. So what exactly is she going to attempt to do with the bracer?
I want to either whip up the biggest goddamn storm I can with what little knowledge I have about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if I'm surrounded by police officers, I would like lightning to shoot out of the bracer and hit them all.
Okay. So either one of those, to get a smallish, just kind of localized storm, would take you. I'm gonna say. Let me look at the. You're gonna at least take quite a bit from that. Doing a smallish storm, even a smallish one, is gonna take 10 wounds.
Okay.
If you want to, and for each wound you take, if you're gonna do lightning, you can hit one of the soldiers.
I wanted either or.
Right, so you can pick. You can decide. If you're gonna do the storm, you can take 10 wounds and kind of create like rain and wind and stuff like that. If you want to take,
I would like to not have rain, because lightning and rain is dangerous. I'm not the smartest sailor, but I know that much.
Rain will wet your powder. That makes perfect sense. You don't want rain.
Yeah. I want there to be a cloud and at least a rumble of thunder before the lightning, so I have plausible. If nobody's really looking at me, yeah.
Okay.
But I would like to, if I don't know how many guards are specifically around me, but I would like them to be struck by lightning, especially the ass that has been facing off with me.
All right, like I said, for every wound you're willing to take, you can hit one soldier. So there's a total of 17. So you can hit. So depending on how many you can take, you can hit one for each.
17 is a bit high on, so I don't think I want to take a full 17, but I'm willing to take 10.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, how is Ace gonna go about attempting to use the bracer? She gonna kind of hold it out, hold it up? You say you kind of don't want to draw attention. How's she gonna do that?
Well, I'm just gonna like pull my sleeve up a little bit and be like, the thing that really gets me is you're really interested in this girl that you think I have been harboring, but it's really this thing that I stole from the bastards I worked for, and I have no idea how it works, and I'm gonna tap on one of the stones and just see what happens.
So you tap on the stones and they start to kind of glow. That very light that you usually see when it's in the box, it starts to glow. And then above, and a cloud starts to form. And everybody who's in the carriage and Gianni on the street can see this as you guys are like attempting to kind of follow. Kind of a cloud like above, like way above in the sky, sort of manifests. It starts getting cooler. And then out of this bracer, 10 bolts of lightning just shoot out from it. And the captain right next to you and the 10 of the guards are taken out. And the other 6 are kind of stunned.
I finish, I take the last drag off my cigarette and I go, shit, okay, and then I run off.
But you feel like shit, like blood.
I probably do, but I'm gonna run off.
Nose. Blood starts rushing out of your nose, and you feel like, there's been a point in your life where there was like some electricity, or you accidentally you feel like you have been shocked, and just your whole body. If you've ever been kind of like grabbed an electric fence or anything like that, it's this whole body just like jerk. And so you just, you feel that, and kind of blood starts coming out your nose.
That's fine. It's only half my health. I figure I'm okay.
Yeah, so at 2, villains are going to gain 2 bonus dice.
I see that.
If you run into this, so.
But I get a bonus dice also.
Yep, you do. Excellent. So, yeah, so that... Johnny and you guys are walking by, and she starts. Which way are you going? So you're gonna see them. You've seen them.
Yeah.
So
if I have still with that 3 successes earlier on that notice, I was hoping that I was still clocking that they were around. And yeah, I was gonna just be like, shit, wipe my nose off and then run off towards the carriage.
And then it kicks the carriage door open. She's like, "Get in quick! Jesus, you look like shit."
I feel like shit. but I can still shoot.
The driver on top goes, Santa Maria, and he starts, moving the carriage. So are you guys gonna try to get back Gianni, who's out of the carriage, and Ace? Are you gonna try? He's not.
If I would have ran past Gianni, I would have been like, "Get on the fucking carriage."
What is it about this? First I swing over to a ship, and I have to swing back and forth several times. And now
I'm
it's a
not going
carriage.
to
What
argue
the
with
hell?
you. I'm not going to argue with you. Get on the thing or leave.
Okay.
And while I'm running and feeling like shit and have like black eyes and bloody nose, I am going to be pulling one of my pistols. And when I get in the carriage, if it looks like the guards are starting to arm themselves, I'm going to start taking pot shots.
Okay.
Be like, get us to where we're supposed to go.
I look at Charles and go, where are we going?
And he stumbles for a minute, but then he gives you a corner of the street where y'all are supposed to meet.
I mean, if they're going to arrest me anyway, if they're going to arrest me, might as well give them a reason to.
I think you just did.
All right. So okay.
I hate Castile anyway.
So
Also, there's someone else you need to learn about. It's called the Inquisition. You're going to hate them as much as I do.
So Nanette's in the carriage. Andreas is in the carriage. And Gianni and Ace are trying to get on the carriage. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So those getting on the carriage, go ahead and give me a finesse and athletics. You will need 2 raises to actually make it into the carriage because it's moving. The driver is not. He's like, and he's still going, kind of moves it up.
I would like to spend one of my hero points to give Amelia 4 bonus dice.
Sweet.
As Ned is trying to help her up as best as she can with her.
Right.
Yes.
I would like to spend 1 hero point to give Gianni 3 bonus dice to represent me holding my hand out for him.
Yeah, so both of you are like... And Charles is trying to hold on to Nanette so she stabilized. Charles is like trying to... He's like...
Can I spend one of my hero points to say that I grabbed Charles's damn book?
Are you willing to spend your hero point to do that?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Before the captain's down on the ground, so before you start running away, spend your hero point. And you can grab the book.
It's a little bit singed.
All right.
A little bit, but it's fine.
So go ahead and go ahead. Yeah, it's my book. So go ahead and do your finesse and athletics, y'all, with the extra dice you have from your compatriots.
Still at 15?
And, yes, still at 15.
All right, so 3 successes.
Okay, perfect. More than what you needed. So
Sorry, I need more dice. Just a second.
You want to borrow some of mine?
What a problem to have.
Right? I want that problem.
The
Alright,
best
so I
part is
got
when you have
4.
the solution.
I get 4 from my finesse, and then you said athletics, so that's 1 more. It's the first time I've rolled this for this scene, so that's 1 more. And I think that's it. That's a lot. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm counting.
It's
I
a
hear
lot
my
harder
dog
when it's
shrieking
15s.
in the other room. Yeah, I know. I have to think a little harder when it's 15s. So, but 2 8s make 16, so that makes it a little easier. And we have a 10. We have 2 8s. We have a 9 and a 6.
You just
We
need
have-
2.
Well, I have 4 with 2 left over.
Perfect. So you guys get on the carriage, no problem. Your allies help you into the carriage. All right, and you start speeding away.
I actually got 1 more because I forgot I'm injured and I get 1 bonus die.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say, since you wanted to get on there and take pot shots, you can use your 2 extra raises that you got to take pot shots if you like, and do 2 wounds.
Fantastic. So yeah, I got 5 raises, so whatever I can use to take pot shots, would love to.
Okay, so you
Take
needed
out
2, so you can take 3. So you leap onto the carriage, take out your gun, and as wounded as you are, you go bam, 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 and take out 3 more.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Is anybody else going to do anything while you are speeding away?
Not this time.
Probably try to get some, like, some sort of bandage just to clean up Ace's nose
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
face. It's
Yep.
just like,
Mhm.
oh,
It burns on the inside, but it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Are they only armed with swords, or are they also armed with muskets?
They have swords. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't
Well, I
think they're...
didn't want to shoot him, but they wouldn't leave me alone.
Yeah. You were a little bit from them, like searching you for weapons. They were like going to get you outside and, make an example of it. They didn't get that far. So
I just didn't want to burn up my hotel room.
The owner appreciates it. For sure. All right. Okay. So yeah, the carriage is speeding away, and y'all
You
have
give Charles his book.
my book.
Apparently, this book was enough to implicate that I was harboring a fugitive. So, please take your belongings with you next time.
But I didn't. I mean, I was standing there, and then all of a sudden, I was out the window, and
Yes.
Okay.
then
Well,
Johnny said it wouldn't work out. I don't understand.
oh, is that the first edition?
Yeah, the captain gave it to me. Captain O'Connell gave it to me on the boat.
You might have borrowed that when you're done.
If I
So-
find out which one of those damn bastards from the Pot of Gold told the police that we were accompanied by Miss Primavera, I'll castrate any one of them. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah.
You could use the net's knife. It's not sharp.
I assume... Yeah, nice.
Not
Perfect.
anymore.
Ace assumes that no one from the Utrecht would have sent police after her. But she
Yeah.
doesn't.
The captain specifically said the pot
The
of
pot
gold.
of gold. Okay.
You don't think your crewmen are going to be in danger, are they?
Well, probably, but they didn't come to help me, so why would I help them? No, that's not true. I would help. They might be, but that's Gianni's fault, right? So.
Oh yes.
But the
Oh, my-
boys, we can't just leave them.
I will circle back around if we find a way off this rock.
Carriage is going. He pulls up. And Charles, here. Stop. And the carriage pulls up. It's a very dark street. Doesn't look like it's used very much. So pulls up. It's pretty quiet. Doesn't look like it's been used very much. And Charles gets out and starts to look around. And he sees something. And he, this way.
I loosen my my saber in its sheath, ready to draw and follow.
Okay. All right. So Charles heads into like the alleyway, like an alleyway in these streets. He seems to see, and Andreas, you follow him, and you actually see somebody down there, and there seem to be horses down there as well. You can see some horses down at the end when you like go to start to follow. What about everybody else?
I follow.
Nanette's gonna pay the cab driver. You never
Yeah.
saw us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, for my, he's gonna for my trouble.
And
I'll
for your
him-
silence.
I'll even give him more.
Okay.
Bloody, but I like clean my nose off, reach into my pouch and hand him some bloody coins, and I'm like, you saw nothing.
Neither did you, he says, and shoves it in his pocket.
Let's go,
Man, how did we
mademoiselle.
even get here?
I think you need the rest. Here, you can lean on me, so you can have a gun arm free.
Okay.
So, down this alleyway, you hear a man saying, Charles, you made it. Are these them? Yeah, it's them. Come. Great. And you see he's an older man, looks maybe in his 60s, looks as much a scholar, just like Charles does. And he has horses with him, like 4 horses with him. And he says, we've arranged some passage for you to Labuka to bring the bracer. Where is it? Do you have it? And Charles is like,
We have it.
Yes. It is here. No, you cannot see it for your own safety.
I say nothing.
I think it is in best interest of everyone's safety if we get on the horses and leave.
Agreed.
Yeah, there was a bit of an incident. You might just want to take us somewhere. That'd be great. Don't worry. The bracer's here. I promise.
he looks at Charles. Charles says, yes, they've been a great help. We should take them with us. And he sort of grabs his book and kind of holds it close. Kind of gives him a look. And he says, finally, after a few moments, he says, all right, get on the horses. And there's only 4 of them, and there's 6 of you. The old man takes 1, so a couple of you are probably going to have to double up.
Miss Amelia, do you know how to ride a horse?
Not well. Boats. I do boats real
All right,
good.
you look
Yeah.
like you're about to fall over. I can take her.
Okay?
And Nanette seems pretty comfortable around horses. She's like a goddamn
Nice.
horse girl.
Sweet.
She's like, who's a good boy?
I love the horses.
I love them. They're so graceful and majestic.
Charles is going to look hopefully at somebody because he doesn't seem very comfortable around horses. All right.
Well, it looks like I just can't quit you. And I'll let him come with me on a horse.
Oh no. he blushes. I don't. Okay.
Why is the
Are you gonna
AI
have
getting
him in
all
front of
It's
you,
going on?
or are you gonna have him get on the back? How are we doing this here? Are you gonna have him get on the back and put his arms, or are you
He
gonna
can
like
put his
hold
arms
him in
around me.
front
Yeah,
of you?
let's just
All
let's just go
right.
the full. Let's take that horse all the way ahead.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Andreas just climbs up, experienced on a horse, and
Sweet. So the man takes you through some streets, some back, and he's kind of heading towards the docks. And eventually, y'all come to the docks that you came in on. And the boat that you see as you're kind of going through and you're very quiet, there are a couple times where you think you hear something and you pause, but it turns out to be nothing, and you're kind of just quietly clomping through the streets on these horses as quickly as you can. You get to the docks where you had come from, and you see the familiar ship, the Pot of Gold. And the older man leads you there to the Pot of Gold. And Captain O'Connell is standing at the bottom of the ramp. And she says, we have a lot to discuss. And we're going to end it there. It's a few minutes early, but we are going to end it there.
Ace wants to like. "Arr."
no, I almost drew.
All right, so we will end it there. It's a little bit early, but we have accomplished what we set out to accomplish, or at least somewhat. And next time we are going to find out exactly what Captain O'Connell has to say, if they're going to listen to her, or what's happening. So we thank you for joining us. Are there any announcements y'all wish to make and let them know what's happening the rest of the week?
We have for the rest of this week, we're actually quiet the rest of this week until Saturday. And on Saturday, we're doing Seriously Let's Play Overlight from Renegade Games. So I described it in vivid detail on Sunday, so I won't bore you with it again. But it's a cool looking RPG. Check it out if you've not seen it. It'll be 2 p.m. Eastern right here on Rook and Rasp. So thank you for joining us tonight. Chat was great, y'all.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
get to participate in the Discord gift train as much as possible, but I'm gonna go check on it after the stream. So
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us from everybody here, and we wish you fair winds and following seas, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Night,
bye,
everyone.
y'all.
Bye, friends.